So this was sweater number 1. If you've missed it, you can watch the video here. Alright, second sweater, the truly ugly one, is a Christmas tree with a skirt and a star headband. Materials you will need: a green knit sweater, a ball of yarn the same color as your sweater, some battery operated mini lights, red tinsel garland, red and gold ornaments, plastic and/or real candy canes, and scissors. I'm going to be attaching these lights through these vertical knit lines. Starting at the top, I'm going to attach these lights in a spiral and continue all the way to the bottom. Insert your lights through the inside, then you want to use your upholstery needle to help guide some of the loops around the lights. I had to use about 3 loops. My lights were pretty long. To secure your lights to the sweater, you want to take your upholstery needle and your yarn, and starting from the inside, go out the sweater right by the base and then go back in. Then you want to make sure to go in between the 2 wires on the back side and then go back up and go down again. Then just tie it off with a knot. I tied 3 knots because I didn't want mine to come apart. Now it's time to make a battery pocket. I used a little bit of mesh material, cut it to the size of the pocket I needed. Using some thread, you want to thread your needle. Then you want to start at the top corner, pull your thread through, and tie that into a knot. Then you're just going to zigzag with your needle in and out all the way down to the bottom. This will close off one side of the pocket. Since the bottom is already closed, we're just going to follow this bottom edge in the same way we did the side. Just zigzag it all the way across. Then you're going to tie a knot on the end of that. Now we're going to sew this pocket to the sweater. Starting at the top corner, you're going to stitch into the pocket and then a loop on the sweater. Then you're going to go back into the pocket and back into a loop on the sweater. You're going to continue this all the way down to the bottom. Then you're going to do the same thing along the bottom. Keep going through the bag and keep going through loops on the sweater. Keep repeating this all the way back up to the top. Finish it off with a couple of knots. Now your battery pack has somewhere to sit and it's easy to change the batteries. Now it's time to add the red tinsel garland. I'm going to spiral the tinsel around the sweater as well, keeping it in between the lights. Secure the tinsel the same way you've been securing the lights, except we're going to tie it off on the outside. And just remember you want to keep it spaced evenly between the lights. I decided to use more tinsel and wrap it around the collar. I used the leftovers and wrapped it around the sleeves. Attach more tinsel to the bottom and continue it all the way around the very bottom edge. Now it's time to attach your red and gold ornaments. Continue tying each ornament down. I attach my ornaments on the front and on the top on the back side. You don't want to attach any ornaments on your lower back, that way you can still sit down and lean against a chair. Then you want to take your candy canes and you want to thread them through the holes on the sweater. Just put them wherever you think they will look best. You can even use real candy canes. I decided my sleeves were still a little bare, so I took some leftover tinsel and I continued my spiral all the way down to the bottom. The first part is done, the sweater. Now for the second part, the skirt, which is actually a tree skirt. You will need some pins, some elastic band, scissors, and a tree skirt. You will also need a sewing machine. I decided to cut the first layer of ruffles off the tree skirt. Just trim it off all the way around. Your skirt could be really plain or super fancy like this one. You want to make a channel for your elastic. Lucky for me, the skirt had 2 layers, so I decided to fold the bottom in and the top over so it would make a nice closed seam on top. You might not have this option and you might have to fold yours all the way over just to make room for the elastic. You could also sew the elastic directly onto the skirt. I'm going to sew 2 lines, that way the elastic has a channel to sit inside. I'm going to sew the top edge first. I'm just sewing along the top edge. Then you want to measure the width of your elastic and put your needle in your fabric where you would like to sew your line. I used a small strip of paper stuck to a piece of tape and I marked it on my sewing machine. That way I can use this as a guide so I can sew it all the way down and it'll be the same width. Make sure to leave about an inch of a space at the beginning and the end. You want to have enough space to thread your elastic into. Now to close off the back of the skirt. I just overlapped the 2 pieces and I pinned them together. Now we're going to sew down this line all the way to the bottom. Now it's time to take our elastic. You're going to take a safety pin and fold over the edge of the elastic and stick your safety pin through it and close it off. Now you're probably going to have to fold your elastic in half just to be able to fit it into the hole. Now insert your safety pin into the hole. Continue threading it all the way around. Just keep pushing the safety pin through with the elastic. When you make it through to the other side, pull your safety pin out. Carefully tuck the end of the elastic back in and secure it down with some pins. You're going to sew along this line. This will secure the elastic in place. Now it's time for you to try on your skirt. Keep pulling and adjusting the elastic until it fits. Once you're happy with the fit, take a pen and mark your elastic. Now cut along that line and carefully thread it back into the skirt. Make sure to pin it down so it doesn't go anywhere. You're going to sew it here on this side too. Then all I had to do was sew the top edge down. And there you go, you've just made a waistband for your skirt. Now it's time to decorate your skirt. You will need some small presents, a needle and thread, and some scissors. I decided to attach presents to my Christmas tree skirt. So you want to start from the outside and thread your needle through. Then you want to come back up, and then you want to go through the bottom of your present. Tie it off with a bunch of knots. Continue this with all your presents around the skirt. And then to finish off the presents, I have these little bows. Stick a bow on every present. I kept all my presents on the front side. I didn't want any on the back, just in case I sat on them. Part 2 is done, your Christmas tree skirt with presents. You will need a headband. I'm using a wire glitter star and a hot glue gun. Glue your star to your headband. I had to go over mine a couple times. It was a pretty heavy star because it was made of metal. Then I'm going to use my mini lights. I'm going to start at the base because I want it to sit behind the star but on my head. I carefully looped the wire around and stuck it between the star and the headband. And I pulled it out a little ways. Then I took the end of the lights and pulled it through that wire loop. I pulled this all the way through. I tightened it up and readjusted it. Then I pulled that wire back down and around. One more time, I took the wire and stuck it between the star and the headband. And then I just decided to wrap the wire around the star. And because the star is made of wire and wrapped in a similar way, my wire completely matched. Keep wrapping the wire all the way around. I decided to end mine at the top. Then I stuck the little end through and bent it over so it wouldn't fall out. Now you can put in some batteries and turn it on and your star is ready. And when you put it all together, you become a Christmas tree. I hope you get the chance to make your very own ugly Christmas sweater this year. If you have suggestions for next year's sweater, leave it in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up. If you want to see more amazing creations, subscribe to my channel. See you next week.
Nice.
Oh, didn't work. That goes in the bloopers.